Hi, readers. Welcome back. I wanted to take a minute to talk a little bit about today's lesson and to remind you of a few things. You can see currently that I am on the stream. On the very, very top, you can see that my hand is hovering over and you can see the stream is green. Down below on the stream, I've posted a new lesson, which we will talk about. You can find that in the stream or a little bit later if you need to look for it. If you click on the classwork tab, you can see that it is there as well. So for today's lesson, just a couple different things. Number one, you are going to select the PowerPoint. You know, a lot of information are in these PowerPoints. The videos that I create are embedded in there. In today's lesson, there is a book that you'll be listening to. So on step 2, you're going to listen to the entire book. Step 3, you can see it talks about opening the Google Doc, which is right over here. We'll come back to that in just a bit. And then finally, the most important part of today's lesson is when we get ready to meet, I want you to be able to think carefully about the book you listen to. I want you to think about looking back for clues. You can certainly listen to the book more than once and trying to find some evidence about what you actually believe took place. So let's go ahead and take a look. I want to remind you, you can click on the slideshow, and of course it will open up. There's 2 ways to view the slideshow. You can either click slideshow and it can open up into a full screen if you like it a little bit bigger, or you can also navigate and toggle through the pages. So today's going to be a new book. You know, we've been studying Chris Van Allsburg. I want you to be thinking, looking back for clues and finding some evidence. On the next page, this is where you'll find today's lesson. You will go ahead and click the arrow. And you know all of this to be true, friends. If you wanted to see that in full screen, you could go ahead and click it up on top and it will open up to full screen. If you want to X out, you can just hit the escape button, which is always on the top left to get you back. But I want to show you the one thing I really want you to pay attention to today is what I want to teach you in today's lesson. Let's see if we can toggle there. All right. So today I want to teach you as readers that sometimes you may not always agree with one another about what truly happened in a story, especially if there's a twist. Be on the lookout for special clues that the author leaves behind. So friends, you're going to listen to this all the way through, but yes, at the very end, we're going to talk about what you think actually happened. On the very next page, I'm going to click on the 3rd slide. Again, here is the entire book that you will listen to. Once again, you're going to go ahead and click the arrow. This book was recorded with permission from the Houghton Mifflin Publishing Company. If you would like it nice and big, go ahead and click full screen. And again, I'm going to hit the escape button to take me back out. You're going to listen to the whole thing. On slide 4, you know we've been adding to this as we go. So I'll show you, this is what I talked about in Google Classroom. We'll just be going back there a little bit later. But after you listen to the Garden of Abdul-Ghazazi, I want you to go ahead and fill in, just as we've been doing, the information that captures what you learned about the Garden of Abdul-Ghazazi. And then last, be ready for our live meet. I'm going to ask you, what do you think? Because readers don't always interpret things the same way, and we are going to discuss. So take a look at these 3 questions, and you will be ready for our meet. Okay, so after you've gone through the lesson, on the upper left-hand side, you can see I'm going back to the classroom. If I click on the Google Doc, you remember it opens. This one, there's nothing to turn in because it's set to make its own copy, so you should be all set. My cursor right now, you can see that it's in the major events. So you're going to think about the major events. I'm going to click, and you can see my cursor is right there, and I can begin to type. The events are, and you can go ahead and list them. If you want to move into the next section and talk a little bit about some of the characters, in this particular book, you're going to meet a character, a lively little character called Alan, and you're also going to meet another character who I happen to love, and Chris Van Allsburg uses quite a bit, is Fritz. You will can continue on, talk a little bit about how the illustrations helped you to learn, and so on and so forth, all the way through to the very surprising parts. We know that Chris Van Allsburg loves to do this in his writing. All right, my friends. So that is an overview for today's lesson. I am super excited for you to learn a little bit more about Chris Van Allsburg, and I really think you're going to like this book. Enjoy.